Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya De Satarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Taruvasya Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnamebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langhayate girim yat kripa tamaham bande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Mishram. Hare Krishna. So I welcome all devotees to our first class about the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. How many of you have read the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam before? Okay. Low sound. Other devotees can switch on their videos, then I can see your hand. How many of you have read Srimad Bhagavatam first canto? Okay. Okay. Bhagavan Krishna. 4 chapters pending. Okay. Okay. And those who have switched off their videos, what they are doing? I think Vikram would have not read. This is the okay, Shama Priya. Okay. Okay, now the volume is okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. So we will discuss about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam little later. Okay. Of how Srimad Bhagavatam is so glorious and why it is so glorious in maybe subsequent classes. But we will first start with the setting of Srimad Bhagavatam, of how Srimad Bhagavatam is set and what is the context of the Srimad Bhagavatam. So we will begin with that, and then we'll go on about the glories, and then we'll go on what is the first canto and how things are. Okay. So Srimad Bhagavatam in the beginning speaks about some sages who have come to Naimisharanya. Naimisharanya is a place near Lucknow. It's a forest, and something about more than 80,000 sages have assembled. Some say that it is 88,000 sages. Okay, so and all these sages had gathered to really do something good for the society. They were thinking that okay, Kali Yuga is coming, and because Kali Yuga is coming, we must do something for the society. And all these sages come together to really think that we should do something and for the welfare of people in general. Okay, And that's how they have been planning for a sacrifice. Okay, so we will read the first verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Naimishe Nimisha Kshetre Rishaya Saunakadayaha Satram Swargaya Lokaya Sahasra Samamasata Naimishe Nimisha Kshetre Rishaya Saunakadayaha Shatram Swargaya Lokaya Sahasra Samamasata. Okay. Naimishe Animisha Kshetre. So in the forest of Naimisha, Rishaya Saunaka Adayaha. So Saunaka Adi Rishi. Okay. Maybe this is better. So the sages were leader. So there was leader, almost like 88,000 sages, and the leader was Saunaka Rishi. Okay. So along with Saunaka and almost like 88,000 sages, they had assembled, okay, Satram Swargaya Lokaya, right, in order to do something good for the society, Lokaya, right, Sahasra Samamasata. They started a yajna for 1,000 years. Okay, translation. Once in a holy place in the forest of Naimisharanya, great sages headed by the sage Saunaka assembled to perform a great 1,000-year sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord and his devotees. Okay, so almost like 88,000 sages had assembled, and they were doing a 1,000-year sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord. Okay, now so they were doing all these yajnas and putting ahutis and chanting the mantras, but nothing was happening. Neither some good things was visible. Maybe they had connections with the outside world also, and maybe they had news, Facebook news, or whatever, WhatsApp and everything. I don't know how they came to know that nothing was working. So maybe they were getting some information that are people, those who are in general, they're becoming happy by our yajna here, and people were miserable, and birth, old age, disease, death was continuing, and fightings were continuing, because Kali Yuga has already started. So this context is the Kali Yuga has started. So so the problems of Kali Yuga were still continuing, and they were doing their yajna. So they were wondering, is anything good going to happen by this? Because already we are doing it, and we have been doing it and doing it and doing it, and nothing good is happening. So they were little confused. So Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the confusion of the sages. So how Bhagavad Gita begins? Anyone?
Confusion of Arjuna.
Yeah, confusion of Arjuna, right? And so Srimad Bhagavatam begins by, so this is Bhagavad Gita, and this is Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, So Bhagavad Gita begins with confusion, and Srimad Bhagavatam also begins with confusion. But the people who are confused are different, right? So here, Arjuna was confused. Here, the sages were confused. Right? So sometimes when we are confused in life, actually we should think that maybe Srimad Bhagavatam or something good is going to happen, right? So confusions are very good because most of our text, the most important text, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, begins with confusion, right? So sometimes when we are confused, we should really not pray for confusion, but if we are confused and if we know how to deal with our confusion, we can actually create a great opportunity for spiritual growth in life. Now, there is a difference between Arjuna's confusion and the confusion of the sages, right? Can anyone say, what is the difference between Arjuna's confusion and the confusion of the sages? All of you have read Bhagavad Gita. Okay, yes. Who is speaking?
Yeah, Arjuna is Shantanu. So the Arjuna's confusion is related to his own family and kings.
Okay.
But the sages are confused about the welfare of the whole world.
So Arjuna's confusion was related to his attachment to body, right? But sages' confusions were related to welfare of soul, right? Yes, anyone else?
Arjuna's confusion was about his own duties.
Yeah, his confusion was about his own duties, but sages were not at all confused about their duties. They were fully aware of their duties. That yes, our duty as a sage or a brahmana or a rishi is to do welfare for the society. Yes, anyone? Anyone else? No one?
Arjuna was confused because of the sins he was going to get it after, I think, doing that activity. But sages was, I think, doing this for the welfare of the society. Both are, I think.
Okay, so Arjuna was confused about the duties, whether I'll get. So this is the same point. Anyone else? Anything else? A very yes.
This was Arjuna confusion starts in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But this is not the battlefield. This is the material world where sages wanted to do good for the society.
Okay, so putting it in a nice way is that what Shyam Narayan is telling. Arjuna was confused while see, Arjuna is so-called involved in a materialistic activity. And while doing that materialistic activity, he was confused, right? And sages were doing a spiritual activity, and interestingly, they also got confused. Now the danger is, see, materialistic activity, if you are confused, then some people can help you. But in spiritual activity only you are confused, right? Then it becomes very difficult to handle the situation, right? Like for example, if I am only confused, so then I don't know what all of you will understand. If I am only scratching my head, ye kya ho raha hai? So what you will understand. So imagine that sages are the teachers of the society, and the teachers are confused of what is happening. Things are not working. Are we doing the right thing, right? So they were doing a spiritual activity and they are confused. Now we will discuss about this third point more elaborately, so that you will understand what I am speaking about, right? You see, when you are doing a materialistic activity and you are confused, your ego is very low, because you already know you are doing a materialistic activity, and materialistic activity ends in confusions only. So for doing a materialistic activity and seeking help, confusion in materialistic activity and seeking help is actually relatively easy. But you are doing a spiritual activity, you are doing an activity mentioned in scriptures, right? What sages were doing, they were actually doing yajna. Yajna is mentioned in scriptures. Don't think that sages were doing something from their mental concoction. Sages were doing activity which is fully prescribed in the scriptures. So when you are doing a spiritual activity, it's prescribed in the scriptures, and then you get confused, then seeking help is not that easy. Matlab, it is possible, but it is not that a linear situation. It's not that just very simple solution. Okay, anyone else? How many of you understood the third point? Let's say one is in the married life, there is some confusion, right? So then it is easy to handle. ठीक है, this is तो संसार में घुसा हुआ हूँ. लोग आके बोलते हैं ना हमको मंदिर में, they come and tell in temple, स्वामी जी संसार में हूँ, संसार में तो समस्या रहता है, आप समस्या का समाधान कीजिए, right? But मंदिर में बैठ के, मंदिर के अंदर रह के, someone is having confusion कि मैं क्या सही कर रहा हूँ? Have I done the right thing by becoming a brahmachari? Then it becomes difficult, and I have seen this happening in our temple. Sometimes the brahmacharis get some bug in their we call it bug in their mind. So when they get a bug, it's very difficult for the bug to get cleared off, right? Because they are staying in temple, they are attending the Mangala Arati, they are attending the classes and everything, and when they get confused, it is very difficult. And why it is difficult, we will see later. We'll just okay, yes, next.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Arjuna confused in front of the Lord Krishna, but the rishis, sages, they confuse among themselves. There is no Lord Krishna like that. And Arjuna confusing the Dharma Khetra, which is the Kurukshetra, but they are confused in an Aranya forest. Okay, so that's all almost same. Arjuna was confused in the duties in the, so this is a place is quite similar. Okay, anyone else which is having some other point beyond this?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Arjuna was confused pre-actions, where sages were confused post-actions.
Okay, that's a nice point. Arjuna didn't do anything. Arjuna was confused without doing anything, and sages were confused after doing. At least Arjuna was better in that sense. किया नहीं, फिर थोड़ा कंफ्यूज होके फिर क्या करना है. ओके, उदाहरण कृष्ण प्रभु.
Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, Arjuna was confused that how his activities will lead to a greater good for the society. And here the sages were trying to do greater good, but they were not able to do the greater good for the society.
Yeah, so that is mentioned in the first way. Arjuna was attached to the body and thinking that how it will bring welfare. But sages were like doing already for the welfare. That's already covered in the first point. Yes, Poonam?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
I'm completely right, but sage's confusion was regarding more like visionary, regarding something with the path they were following, and then Arjun's confusion was only one aspect of a very small element of.
Okay, so sages were confused basically with the principles. And Arjuna was confused about certain practices. Okay, that's all. So now we will go ahead and we will come back. Okay, Nishant has raised his hand. Yes. You want to speak? You are muted. You have to.
Arjuna brought many logics of not doing any fighting. Before fighting, he brought many logics that he will not do fight about his duty. But then sages are very clear in their principles. What are they doing? But still they are very confused.
So sages were in knowledge, so-called knowledge, and they were confused. And Arjuna was not in knowledge and he was in confusion. It's a nice point. Okay. So now we'll go ahead. So what happens? Okay, mute. Arjuna. Okay, so that we will see. So he's telling Arjuna approached Krishna and sages also approached Suta Goswami. Okay. So now.
Prabhuji, one more point. I think Arjuna was confused by Krishna. Krishna created the illusion. That's why Arjuna confused.
Okay, Arjuna was created, confusion was created by Krishna for Arjuna. Okay, so that is a point which we generally don't too much discuss when we are discussing philosophy. This is the point of the pastime. Okay, when we are discussing about philosophy, we are very clear that Arjuna was confused. But definitely, Arjuna is pure devotee. He was confused for the sake of Leela. So let's not mix pastime and philosophy. Let's discuss on philosophy. Okay, philosophy means Arjuna was confused. Okay. So otherwise, if we discuss pastime and philosophy together, mixed, then sometimes we may think, we get confused and we think, I think Krishna is planning my confusion. I'm doing some leela of confusion. We are all not doing leela of confusion. We are fallen. We are not doing a leela of being fallen soul like that. So we are fallen fully. Arjuna was doing a leela of acting like a fallen devotee. For all of us are help. But let's discuss on the philosophy. Okay? Okay, Hare Krishna. So we will go ahead. Now, so when these sages had assembled and they were trying to do this sacrifice, basically they were doing the yajna. They were doing the yajnic sacrifices a lot. So nothing was coming out. Why you have, whenever I say you... Whenever I say that, please show the verse. Then so nothing was working out, and they were also not themselves feeling satisfied, right? So these sages, whose head was Saunaka, so he requested Suta Goswami. Somehow or other, Suta Goswami arrived in that place, and you see, generally when a person arrives, you are doing a great activity. Imagine you are doing a yajna and you are imagine doing a great welfare activity for the society, and there are 80,000 sages assembled, and Saunaka is the leader, and the leader actually takes all along, right? And then Suta Goswami arrives. So what is the general expected thing? That you are doing a great activity and some another person arrives and you are doing such a great activity. Just imagine bringing 80,000 people together and arranging a yajna. So Srimad Bhagavatam speaks only one verse on the yajna, but just imagine To arrange a 80,000 sages yajna, it's not a joke. We arrange our temple initiation and all these yajnas. It is so difficult to get people along, right? Koi phenk raha hai, koi mantra uchcharan kar raha hai, someone is not chanting the mantra, someone is putting the ahuti, someone is not putting the ahuti, right? So to get all people along, it is so difficult. And to get 88,000 people together, it's really difficult. And with all these people difficult, Saunaka Rishi has assembled all these people and doing such a grand yajna, and Suta Goswami has arrived. So what is the natural thing for Saunaka? What is the natural thing? Huh?
To ask questions.
Okay.
Why it is not working? Because someone knowledgeable has come.
So, okay. Anyone else? What is the natural thing?
So we need to welcome.
Okay, welcome. Okay. Anyone else? What is the natural thing?
To get little irritated.
Okay, to get irritated. Or to get agitated. Okay. The general thing would be
to ask him also to join the yajna.
To ask him to join the yajna. Maybe if Suta Goswami joins the yajna, something good will happen. This is one thing that may happen. Or the second thing will happen, that they have already done such an elaborate practice, right? And with the elaborate practice, Suta Goswami may think that they have done so much. Let us tell what all things we have done, right? It's natural that when we are doing something great, it's natural to tell others that we did so much of great things, and it is natural to cover up our situation of our heart and show how great we are. Imagine we have started chanting 64 rounds on one Ekadasi, right? And after 32nd round is going on, 33rd round is going on, one devotee comes in the room, right? And now we have started a 64 round yajna, and great, you have come, right? But inside the heart, we are thinking कि कब ये 64 खत्म होगा, काहे मैंने 64 का लिया था, I am feeling hungry, and we are not going to reveal our heart, right? To be very honest, we are very careful in revealing our heart, right? So the sages, we see how they speak out. Okay, so this is another verse in the end of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Karmanyasmin anaswase. Okay. Why these devotees have switched off their videos? Do they know that they have to switch on their videos? Why you are? I don't know. Understand why already? So all of you keep your mobile and make notes. Otherwise, you will not be allowed to enter the class. If you are not serious, don't come. I'm again and again telling, if you are not serious, if you are sleeping in the class, if you are not making notes, don't come for the class, don't disturb me. I am again and again telling, it gets me irritated. If you are not serious in the class, don't come for the class. And I am not going to waste my time and energy. If you really are serious, come for the class. If you are not serious, then stop the video, go out of the class, and do whatever you want to do, rot in material life. You are already rotting, you will rot more by not following the instructions of the spiritual master. You are already rotting. I am telling you, you are rotting in spiritual material life, you will rot more because you are not taking the opportunity seriously. And you will never improve. I am telling you, you will never improve until unless you really endeavor hard to improve. You'll always have this excuse, अरे आज तो ये busy हो गया, that's why I'm not able to sit and make notes and hear nicely. आज तो ये हो गया, आज तो वो हो गया. Material energy will give you billions of excuses to be not serious in bhakti. Every Sunday you will have some issues. You will see. Every Sunday you will have some issue. Aaj this problem will come, next that problem will come, as this that will happen, this will happen, all problems will happen, and finally you will see that whole life बूढ़ा हो जाएंगे, मर जाएंगे, संडे का संडे ओके चला जाएगा, and time ऐसे ही चला जाएगा. I'm telling you, if you cannot become serious today, right now, you will never become serious. Never become serious. I have been telling that you write notes. I see half of the people just not writing notes, just sitting, and some are sleeping, some are switching off videos. You leave this place now. Why you are there in satsang group? Are you making a show here? I don't want lot of people, some 200 people attending the class, and no one is serious. No one is really responding. Everyone is just seeing क्या चल रहा है उधर, प्रभु जी कुछ बता रहे हैं. ऐसा जरूरत नहीं है. आपको seriously really want to go back to Godhead, you attend the class, make notes, join the interactive session, really think something in the mind, then you come for the class. If you don't want to make notes, if you don't want to be serious, don't join the class. How many of you are making notes? Who is not making notes? Who is not making notes? Okay, so you get your notebook first. Yes, Trideep, Kajal, Pavan Krishna. Pavan Krishna, get your notebook and put your mobile separately outside your body. Really frustrating. 1 week, one hour class you cannot take out seriously for Krishna, and you are thinking you will go back to Godhead. Who will take you back to Godhead? Why Krishna will take you back to Godhead? Is Krishna mad? You will land up into big problem if you go back to Godhead. So, karmanyasmin anaswase.
Karmani asmin anasyase.
Dhuma-dhumratmanam bhavan.
Dhuma-dhumratmanam bhavan.
Apayayati Govinda.
Apayayati Govinda.
Pada Padma Savang Madhu.
Pada Padma Asavam Madhu.
Karmanyasmin anaswase.
Karmanyasmin anaswase.
Dhuma-dhumratmanam bhavan.
Dhuma-dhumratmanam bhavan.
Apayayati Govinda.
Apayayati Govinda.
Pada Padma Savang Madhu.
Pada Padma Savam Madhu.
Okay. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. We have just begun the performance of this fruitive activity, a sacrificial fire, without certainty of its result due to the many imperfections in our action. Our bodies have become black from the smoke, but we are factually pleased by the nectar of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Govinda, which you are distributing. Okay. Purport. The sacrificial fire kindled by the sages of Naimisharanya was certainly full of smoke and doubts because of so many flaws. The first flaw is that there is an acute scarcity of expert brahmanas able to carry out such performances successfully in this age of Kali. Any discrepancy in such sacrifices spoils the whole show, and the result is uncertain, like agricultural enterprises. The good result of tilling the paddy field depends on providential rain, and therefore the result is uncertain. Similarly, performance of any kind of sacrifice in this age of Kali is also uncertain. Unscrupulous, greedy Brahmanas of age of Kali induce the innocent public to such uncertain sacrificial source without disclosing the spiritual injunction that in age of Kali there is no fruitful sacrificial performance but the sacrifice of the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Okay, so Srila Prabhupada in the first part of the purport is mentioning how people are cheating, the Brahmanas are cheating the public, telling that this in Kali Yuga nothing is going to work, these yajnas are not going to work, but they are cheating. So who can be a better Brahmana than the sages of Naimisharanya? They were doing the yajna, nothing was working. Suta Goswami was narrating the transcendental activities of the Lord before the congregation of the sages, and they were factually perceiving the result of hearing these activities. One can feel this practically as one can feel the result of eating food. Spiritual realization acts in that way. Okay, the last part of the purport is very important. Please pay attention. The sages of Naimisharanya were practically sufferers from the smoke of a sacrificial fire and were doubtful about the result. But by hearing from a realized person like Suta Goswami, they were fully satisfied. In Brahma Vaivarta Puran, Vishnu tells Shiva that in age of Kali, men full of anxieties of various kinds can vainly labor in fruitive activity and philosophical speculations. But when they are engaged in devotional service, the result is sure and certain, and there is no loss of energy. In other words, nothing performed for spiritual realization or for material benefit can be successful without the devotional service of the Lord. Okay, so the point here to be mentioned here is, if you see, the sages were so honest to reveal that it's not working. That their bodies have become black with smoke, and that was the result, right? So what was the result of doing such a big sacrifice? The only result that the sages, they felt that their faces were getting black with smoke. That's the result of doing yajna in Kali Yuga. You may, if you are white and you want a tanning of your skin, so you can do a yajna and you can get tanned without having going through the tanning of like the ladies of and men and women of US, they do tanning. So you can also get tanned by sitting in front of a yajna. So that's what the sages are telling. So here the important point what we want to discuss today is that even having got such, so we will now discuss about the sages. So sages, we are having the right purpose. The sages, we have assembled in the right place, and the sages were the right people. They were really pure. What more can be there? So the purpose was right, that they wanted. What was the purpose? Yeah. So they didn't wanted something for themselves, like Arjuna was wanting something for himself, but they really didn't wanted something for themselves. They were really having the purpose that yes, we should do something good for the society. And they were in the right place. It's not that they were doing in a metro city, inside the heart of the city, sitting, and all people are looking at them and seeing what they are doing. So they had gone to a very spiritual place, right? Srila Prabhupada in the purport speaks about Naimisharanya. He says that the center of the universe is actually the Naimisharanya. So they had come to the center of the universe, right? So the Naimisharanya is actually the center of the universe, and it is said that anything done in Naimisharanya affects the entire universe. That's why they had chosen Naimisharanya. So Naimisharanya is such a special place that anything will happen in the Naimisharanya will have that effect spreading towards the entire universe. And the sages knew it. And that's why they selected Naimisharanya, because they really wanted that it should help people. And they were very pure souls. They were not struggling with their mind and senses, and they were not thinking that, oh, I will have to eat, where is my breakfast, lunch and dinner, and how many prasadam Saunak Rishi has arranged today, and there is no prasad, buffet is not there, and just only khichdi is available. So they were not thinking like that. They had not come with a purpose that, with thinking that, oh, what prasad I will get. They were such pure souls. They had no attachment for their body, and they were not really wanting to enjoy something, or they were not coming from what prasadam is there. So they're right people. So they had the right purpose. They were in the right place. They had chosen the right place. They were the right people with a lot of purity, right? But amidst all these things, they also had the right character, or they were honest. So when you are already doing everything right, it becomes very difficult to accept something that is wrong in your life. If you are already doing so much of right things, right, it becomes very difficult to accept what is wrong, first thing, and it is very difficult to reveal your heart. And this is something a devotee would face as he goes on in Krishna consciousness. So if we try to put a put some mathematical progress chart of a devotee in Krishna consciousness, you will see a devotee's progress in Krishna consciousness goes somewhat like this. There are two stages that a devotee has to face. It's not necessary everyone has to face, okay? So, but it happens. So, in the beginning of Krishna consciousness, our progress is quite steep, and we progress very, very nicely. And all of you would also observe that first 2-3 years we progress very nicely, and after some time you will see that मैं क्या आगे बढ़ रहा हूँ. So sometimes, so there is feeling that our progress becomes flattened. And the reason is, in the beginning of our Krishna consciousness, when we come, we are very honest and also humble to reveal our shortcomings. But as we go ahead, we start putting tilak, we start attending classes. Oh, I have become a nice devotee now. So then it becomes very difficult to reveal our anarthas. लोग क्या सोचेंगे, मैं तो इतना दिन से भक्ति कर रहा हूं, फिर भी मेरा ये अनर्थ नहीं जा रहा है. So then we start hiding our anarthas, hiding our shortcomings, thinking that automatically it will go away. See, one thing I'll tell you, automatically nothing is going to happen. Nothing happens automatically. If I am lazy, then I am not going to improve automatically. If I am lusty, I am not going to improve automatically. If I am greedy, I am not going to improve automatically. These enemies of the heart are not going to go away automatically, right? But it is seen, observed, that when devotees, after spending certain number of years, it becomes difficult for them to reveal their heart. But we see here the sages, very interesting, that they were involved in they were right, having the right purpose, right place, right people. They were really pure, but they were ready to reveal their heart that nothing is happening. Oh Suta Goswami, nothing is happening. Tell us what is problem. When you are a small man, when you are a materialistic person, coming to temple telling that what's the problem? Tell me. It is very easy. Because you are coming from outside and coming to the temple, and you are sure that these temple devotees, they are really great souls, they are having the right purpose, they are in the right place, they are the right people, they can help me. But you have spent so much of time in Krishna consciousness, then it becomes very difficult to take help for your shortcomings. And then those shortcomings remain as it is in our heart. So here we see the sages giving us an example of living a life of honesty, right? So we will discuss about further. Now then comes a place where we come to Nishtha, right? And from Nishtha, then the devotee starts progressing, and you will see that yes, I am becoming more determined, more stable, and more sincere in the various practices of devotional service. Then there will come a stage where you have Nishtha and no ruchi, no attraction for Krishna. So you are doing all activities. You are chanting 16 rounds with attention, you are following the 4 regulative principle nicely, you are attending Mangal Aarti, you are getting up early, but your love for Krishna is not increasing. So that stage we will discuss later on. It's not the subject matter of right now discussion, because most of you, maybe all of you are falling in that category. I am not falling. So we will discuss about this stage more than that stage. Okay. So first let's come to Nishtha. And once you have all started switching on your videos and chanting and really serious, then we will discuss about this stage of how to overcome this stage of not having ruchi for the Lord, how to develop ruchi for the Lord when we have developed nishtha for the Lord. Okay. And these stages are not like 0 and 1. These stages come slowly. Like, you know, when you have having nishtha, you will also get some ruchi, your anarthas will also be going away. But on a broad level, in the beginning of our Krishna consciousness, it is very easy. Like when we are new to temple or new to association of devotees, it is very easy to reveal, oh Prabhuji, I am feeling this problem, you should tell me how to help. But slowly, as we spread time in Krishna consciousness, we become, it becomes very difficult to reveal our anarthas, to reveal our shortcomings. And that's how the progress becomes flattened. Okay. So here the sages are really great souls that though they had so much of purpose, place and people. They were the right people, but they were situated in right position, which is required for growth in Krishna consciousness. That is the position of honesty and humility. Okay. So Srimad Bhagavatam begins with this principle. It talks about this principle that the sages, here are the sages, they are spiritualist, they are not materialist. Arjuna is a warrior, he is involved in a materialistic activity, so it's natural to be confused. But Srimad Bhagavatam takes us ahead that don't think that you'll only be confused about what is matter and what is spirit. Within spirit also, while practicing spiritual activity also, you will find confusion and you need the help of a sadhu, you will need the help of a guru. So sometimes we think that, okay, once I start practicing spiritual life, everything will just go automatically. I'll start chanting 16 rounds and I'll get initiated and then automatically will happen. So automatically doesn't happen. So whatever principles you have followed in the beginning of Krishna consciousness, like revealing your heart and telling Prabhuji, this is not working, that is not working. Now also you need to do the same thing so that you come to the stage of Nishtha. Right? So after Nishtha, the principles and the practices have become little different. But till Nishtha, we need to understand that our progress is very much dependent on this position of honesty and humility. And the sages, though they are beyond Nishtha, but yes, they are showing this example that even in a spiritual path, even in a prescribed spiritual path, the sages were doing the prescribed spiritual path, even in that, there is a chance of confusion, and there is also an important element of accepting one's shortcoming. To progress in spiritual life, one needs to first accept that I am not progressing. I am getting stuck. I am getting distracted in material life. Right? And if one doesn't have that humility to express in front of sadhu, just imagine the Saunaka Adi Rishi, they have brought 80,000 sages, and Saunaka is so humble, telling openly to Suta Goswami in front of the 80,000 sages that, bas, you know how sarcastic is this? Can you think what sarcasm it is? Huh? Telling, बस एक ही चीज हुआ सूत गोस्वामी, हम इतना बड़ा यज्ञ किए, एक ही चीज हुआ, हमारा मुंह काला हो गया और कुछ नहीं हुआ दुनिया में. So they are making fun of themselves, right? So they have assembled with such a right purpose, with so much of grandeur, and they have read Shastras, they have come to Naimisharanya, and they have the courage to reveal their shortcomings so that they can go ahead. So just imagine the character of these sages. So sometimes when we read Srimad Bhagavatam, we don't understand what is going on. Oh, sages had come, then Suta Goswami came. So but if you go deep, you will understand that if I was in the place of the sage, if I was a Saunaka Rishi who had brought 80,000 rishis and doing all this big yajna, will I have the character and humility to reveal my shortcoming? Right? I would better ask Suta Goswami that is it ghee is pure or some adulterated ghee has come. I will better ask Suta Goswami that you see the seat of the mantras which you are chanting during Ahuti? Is the seat of mantra right? I would not ask him question, am I doing a right thing? I would say, I am doing a right thing. Maybe some mantras are a problem. You are able to understand this point? I don't know whether you are able to figure out, I am doing the right thing. I think the mantras are wrong. I think the ghee is wrong. Can you tell me where to get the right ghee so that the ahuti is done? I think maybe the Yajna Kund, the location of the Yajna Kund and what we have to place, how to decorate the Yajna Kund then. So they are not asking questions like this. They are asking a fundamental question that we are stuck. So if we really want to progress in spiritual life, especially when we are stuck in this point, every devotee will go through this this situation where he will find after practicing 3, 4, 5, 6 years, I'm stuck. What's happening, man? I'm not feeling the attraction for Krishna. My practices are becoming more monotonous, boring, burdensome, and I'm not feeling the juice of Krishna consciousness. So this, right? This phase is a very difficult phase in the life of a practicing sadhaka. Most of the slips, fall downs and whatever, going back again to material life happens in this phase if a sadhaka is not careful in dealing with this phase of one's life. If he thinks, now I am just started practicing, now I have got initiation, now I'll just chant Hare Krishna, Guru is there and he will take me. This is not going to happen. It's not going to happen like that, right? So all of us are uniquely having unique shortcomings and we need to learn to reveal our heart. Okay, so then Srimad Bhagavatam goes ahead. So Suta Goswami gives, so now Suta Goswami starts speaking because Saunakadi Rishis, they say that, kya ho raha hai, samasya, samajh mein nahi aa raha hai, batao. And they ask certain questions which we will discuss later on in the, because our theme today is different. So they ask some 6 questions. So Saunakadi Rishi, they ask some 6 questions. We will discuss that later on. But to answer those questions of the Saunakadi Rishis, Suta Goswami tells the story of Vasudev. He tells Suta Goswami, so what has happened till now is, if we try to write down, that Saunaka plus his 88k sages, they inquire now to Suta Goswami and they inquire 6 questions. Okay, and then Suta Goswami answers, and in his answer the first thing he says is about confusion of Vasudev. See, when you are confused and someone else says, so don't worry, the other person was also confused, he was also a great person, you feel, oh, I think सब लोग ऐसे गुजर रहे हैं क्या? You feel little relieved. Yes. This act of counseling and mentoring, Sometimes when we are going through some problem in life, imagine I am going through some anger issues, and then someone says, you are the counselor or the mentor or the whom you have approached. He says, you are the only person facing like this. Whole world, I only face anger issues. Said, my goodness. But imagine, he says that, after practicing so many years of Krishna consciousness, I am also facing anger issues. I also become angry when people are not switching on their videos. So, Prabhuji is also angry. So people think, okay, Prabhuji also feels anger, so no problem. My anger, Prabhuji is also angry. So everyone feels angry. So now Suta Goswami, you see how special he is, that he sees that these sages have assembled 88,000 sages with so much of grandeur and fanfare and all those things, and they are so depressed that nothing is happening. So he answers, and the first thing he tells about is about the confusion of Vasudev, that don't worry, what you are facing, even Vasudev also faced. This is okay. We are not facing something new. Even Vyasdev also faced. So now Vyasadev's story is being told by Suta Goswami. We'll just read some part of the story and we will see what we can read. And once upon a time, Vyasadev, this is from chapter 4, first canto. So let's not read everything. We will take a lot of time. So I will give it in your book reading session, so if you can go through it, okay, in the book reading. So just don't show this. So Suta Goswami says that one day Vyasadeva was sitting in the banks, in the kutir, in the bank of Saraswati, and he was just thinking for himself what he has done. So what Vyasadeva did was, there was one Veda and he divided into 4 parts. He divided the Vedas into 4 parts so that, it can be segregated and people can read it properly. Okay. So Vyasadeva divided the Vedas into 4 parts, and then he allocated every Veda one person so that it can be distributed properly, right? And then he thought that these Vedas are speaking about practices. We should have something for philosophy. He wrote the Upanishads. And then he was thinking the Upanishads and Vedas are too difficult for common people. Then he wrote the Itihasas, Mahabharata and Ramayana. Then he thought that these philosophy have to be applied, but some people who have applied it, their examples have to be told. Then he wrote the Puranas. Okay, so if I write down what Vyasadeva did is, so first he took the Vedas. The Vedas were huge. So he thought that Kali Yuga, itna bada Ved kaun padhega? Because if you see, you'll see, mota kitab jaise hi Kali Yuga vasi dekhte hain, इतना मोटा गीता पढ़ेंगे नहीं, तो छोटा करने से it is easy. So Vyasdev was also thinking in Kali Yuga, किताब मोटा हो जाएगा तो कोई खोलेगा नहीं. So then he thought that let me divide the Vedas into 4 parts. So he segregated the different aspects of the Vedas into 4 parts. So this is all happening in the beginning of Kali Yuga. So he segregated the Vedas into 4 parts. So Vedas are basically about hymns. Then he wrote Upanishads, which is about, this is all about practices. Vedas are basically about different practices. So he wrote about the philosophy in Upanishad. Then he thought that the Vedas and Upanishads are very, very difficult. They are very difficult. The Sanskrit is very difficult and all. So he wrote something for the general masses which are called the Itihasas. So what are Itihasas? Mahabharata and Ramayana. So he wrote something for the general masses, Mahabharata and Ramayana, which is very good for the general mass. And then he thought that everything is there, but there is no examples or case studies. So for the examples and case studies, he wrote Puranas, which are like Smriti Sastras, where different people have followed or the principles of Vedas in their life, right? These are like case studies. So he wrote the Puranas. And after doing all these things, so there are 108 Upanishads, there are 4 Vedas, there is these 2 Ramayana and Mahabharata, and there are 18 Puranas. 18, 20, 128, 132. Minimum 132 compilations. So after doing all this 132 writing, Vyasadeva is thinking, after writing and reading all these things, I am not feeling satisfied. What people will feel satisfaction when they read this? If the author is not feeling satisfied by writing, what the readers will feel satisfied when they are reading? Right? So Vyasadeva in this verse, okay. So we will read this 26th verse. O twice born Brahmanas, still his mind was not satisfied even after doing all these things. Although he engaged himself in working for the total welfare of people. Thus the sage, being dissatisfied at heart, at once began to reflect, because he knew the essence of religion, and he said within himself, I have under strict disciplinary vows unpretentiously worshipped the Vedas. You see what Vyasdev is thinking. मैंने अपना सारा वाव मेंटेन किया, जितना सारा शास्त्र का उक्ति है फॉलो किया. मैंने I unpretentiously worship the Vedas. I worship the Vedas. I have respected the spiritual masters and their instructions. And I have also respected the Yajna Kund. I have also abided by the rulings and have shown the import of disciplic succession through the explanation of Mahabharata. So I have also followed the Guru Parampara. It's not that I have done some mental speculation. I have followed the Guru Parampara also while writing all this literature. And these literatures are so special that even women, Sudras, anyone, right, can read. This doesn't contain very long, lofty Sanskrit and philosophy. Anyone can understand and see the path of religion. So like this, first Vyasdev thinks that these 5 things I did, right? Tathapi batame dahiyo. Anyone?
Tathapi batame dahiyo.
Hiyatma chaivatmana vibhu.
Hiyatma chaivatmana vibhu.
Asampanna iva bhati.
Asampanna iva bhati.
Brahma varchasya sattamaha. I am feeling incomplete, though I myself am fully equipped with everything required by the Vedas. So Vyasdev has the courage to tell that he is feeling incomplete. Just imagine, for billions and billions of years and ages, people are going to tell, "Arey dekho, Vyasdev ka kya ho gaya?" Right? But he is so honest to reveal purport. Undoubtedly, Srila Vyasdev was complete in all details of Vedic achievements. Purification of living being submerged in the Vedas, but the ultimate achievement is different. Unless it is attained, the living being, even though fully equipped, cannot be situated in transcendentally normal stage. Srila Vyasdev appeared to have lost the clue and therefore felt dissatisfaction. Okay. So this is Suta Goswami telling that, oh, you 88,000 sages, don't think that you are the only one. Even Vyasdev in previous history was also feeling dissatisfied. And I will tell you how Vyasdev finally became satisfied. Okay. So this is the context of Srimad Bhagavatam. The sages 88,000 have assembled in the Naimisharanya with the right purpose, in the right place, with the right purity of thoughts, they're the right people, but things were not happening. They had the right position to reveal the heart to Suta Goswami. And Suta Goswami is such an amazing person. He comforts them that yes, O sages, you are not the only one who are facing this problem. Vyasdev was also facing the problem. Vyasdev, the great soul who did so much, he also faced the problem. Let me now tell you what is the solution, right? So next class we are going to discuss on the topic. So this is the context. The first context or first lesson that we are learning from Srimad Bhagavatam is how to get courage. Okay, so that's the topic, and we will continue and end it in next class. How to get courage to reveal one's heart in confidence. Okay, so and how it is important to reveal one's heart for a progressing sadhaka or a progressing devotee, and how it is important for our progress in spiritual life. Okay, so this is what we are going to discuss next class, but today was just the context of what is happening in Srimad Bhagavatam, and how Srimad Bhagavatam begins with revealing one's heart. How Bhagavad Gita also begins where Arjuna revealed his heart to Krishna, and Bhagavatam begins with sages revealing in our heart. So generally we think at the level of Bhagavad Gita we can reveal our heart, and we will go ahead in Krishna consciousness. We will get the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and then once we have become devotees, it will become an automatic process. No, the process of taking help and revealing one's shortcomings is an ongoing process, right? And as it goes ahead, as we go ahead, as we see the curve, as we go ahead, it is going to become more and more difficult to reveal our shortcomings and take help. And more we do that, we are going to go ahead. Otherwise, we are going to get stuck in our Krishna consciousness. Okay? Is this clear? Hare Krishna. So we have 15 minutes. We'll take some questions and we'll end.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes.
As we know, basically Ramayana was written by Maharishi Valmiki. So, in this classes, twice you gave the references that Vyasadeva has written the Ramayana.
Yes.
So why so?
Yeah, because everything got written down in written form. So Vyasadeva definitely composed Mahabharata, right? Vyasadeva didn't compose Ramayana, but these Ramayans and all were all in Shruti form. Even the Vedas and the Puranas all were in like what you say, I speak, the disciple hears, and the disciple speaks, he hears. So Vyasadeva was the first person to put it in writing. You're understanding? So it's not that he wrote Ramayana, Valmiki wrote Ramayana, but the book form of Ramayana, what is we are seeing, was written by Vyasadeva. He wrote everything before Kali Yuga because he knew that this form of education, what is the form of education in previous times before Kali Yuga was the teacher speaks, student remembers, and the student becomes teacher, he speaks, and the next student remembers. That's the form of education. There were no books. So Vyasadeva wrote the books. Okay, some things he himself compiled, some things he wrote what is already going on. Is this clear? Is clear? Hare Krishna, I think. Yeah. Okay. Next.
And there itself, it appears that everything has been written by Vyasa.
Yes, your question is not clear. You put the question in the text box in the chat. Hare Krishna.
It appears that Vyasadeva has written everything after Avsan of Parikshit Maharaj.
Okay, so we will discuss about the timeline. We will discuss about the timeline of Srimad Bhagavatam in our later classes because it's little confusing, I know. So we'll discuss on it. Okay. The timeline, when it has happened, what has happened, kab kya hua, kaise hua, how many number of years have passed, when exactly was happened, we will discuss that. That's a one class we will discuss on it. Okay. So on the context of today's class, if you have any doubt, you ask. Okay. Your question will be answered in maybe next 2-3 more classes. Okay. Yes. Udharan Krishna. Go on. You are not audible. Change your audio settings. Yes, Madhur Kohli Prabhu. Okay. He started. Okay. He started speaking. Yes, Udharan Krishna Prabhu. Then.
So Hare Krishna Prabhu, while practicing, devotional service every day, we are trying to follow these principles. But somehow, sometimes it happens in our mind, a lot of thoughts come in form of waves, right? Like we feel sometimes negative about some devotee, or we feel okay, that person is doing good, I'm not able to do well. So I'm able to see my shortcomings, and I know that these things are not good for my devotional service. But those thoughts come and they go away like a wave type of thing. So probably at what point of time we should have trust in ourselves, that through practices these things will go away, and when we should approach our spiritual master to say, this is a perennial issue, this is not happening with me.
Based on the frequency and based on how it is affecting our bhakti, right? Imagine whole chanting, you are chanting and thinking about something else other than holy name. It's really a matter of issue. If we are actually, our process is about attentively chanting. If you are not attentively chanting, then it's a matter of concern. If you are not concerned that I am not chanting attentively, 4 years have passed, 5 years have passed, 10 years have passed, 15 years have passed, 20 years have passed, 30 years have passed, people in Krishna consciousness, they're sleeping in chanting and they're not concerned. So the point is that if it is happening at the other times of the day, it is fine. But it is happening at the 2 hours of chanting, then it's a matter of serious concern. When it is happening is also important. Okay, if the thoughts are coming, if imagine thoughts about some becoming envious about devotee, or angry on some devotee, or thoughts about lusty thoughts, or some thoughts are coming during other part of the day and it goes away, that's a different thing. But it is coming when I'm reading Srimad Bhagavatam, when I'm chanting Hare Krishna, then it's a matter of concern. So at least these thoughts should not affect our core spiritual practices of the day. And while reading Srimad Bhagavatam, I am thinking about, my work. Then it's a serious thing. I am reading Srimad Bhagavatam and my thoughts are going to work, thoughts are going to kya rasan mein leke aana hai. That means I am not absorbed in reading Srimad Bhagavatam. So how to develop absorption in reading Srimad Bhagavatam? How to develop absorption in chanting the holy names of the Lord? So thoughts are fine, it will come and go. But if it is disturbing in our prescribed chanting of 16 rounds, reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing of the classes, then we need to really take action, right? If you imagine, we heard all the class, like yesterday we heard one Srimad Bhagavatam class. So we should be able to, in the evening, Bihari Govind was telling, class was very nice. Then he told one point, then I spoke 4 or 5 points. Yes, Bihari Govind. So it's not that I was making some notes in the class. I had no notebook, right? So that means we should be able to analyze our life based on the practices. If I am hearing Srimad Bhagavatam class, and in the morning I heard from Rishi Kumar Prabhu, and in the evening if someone is asking, what did you hear? And I am just blank, nothing I am able to speak. Then even I am making notes, what is the use? Then I should ask, अरे प्रभु मैं notes भी बनाता हूँ, फिर भी मेरे को कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, याद नहीं रह रहा है. So it's a matter of serious concern, right? See, our practices are what? Chanting 16 rounds, reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, attending Mangal Aarti. In Mangal Aarti, I am thinking about something else. How much I am focused on attending Mangal Aarti? How much I am focused on what Nitai Gauranga has wore? If you ask after Mangal Aarti some devotees कि क्या पहना था भगवान, पहना तो अच्छा सुंदर ड्रेस था. It's a matter of concern. That means our thoughts are completely not absorbing in the process. So thoughts are fine. If the thoughts are coming on the other part of the day, imagine you are working and some thoughts are coming. It's fine. But imagine you are chanting, thoughts are coming. Imagine you are in Mangal Aarti, thoughts are coming. Imagine you are doing Narsimha Aarti, thoughts are coming. So it's a matter of seriousness. So timing of the thoughts is what should make us serious, right? If you are feeling sleepy in chanting, if you are feeling distracted in attending Srimad Bhagavatam, you are not feeling interest of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, it's a matter of concern. Oh, someone, Nirakar, please mute. So if it's a matter of concern, how long we'll get stuck up? We have to go on, we have to progress. Nirakar, please mute. We need to go. So you put him in. So is this clear? What it is clear to you?
During our regular process of devotional service, we should be completely absorbed. And that time thoughts should not come.
So if that time thoughts are coming, then what? So you are thinking the process will help. Okay, thoughts are coming, thoughts are going away. But thoughts are coming in the process itself. It is, what happened? I think it's not charging. It's not charging. It has got discharged. It has got this. You didn't charge the power bank? It is. Huh? It's not charging. Okay, so there is some issues with the camera. So, so if the thoughts are coming in the process only, how you think the process will help? So that's what I am mentioning here. Is this clear? Yes. Next question. Yes, Poonam. Poonam Mataji, you don't anytime raise your hand. You raise your hand. This is the decorum of class. So many people have raised hands. Why you are unique? Yes, Poonam Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the.
Yes.
Okay, like you told about Vyasadeva and the sages also, but about Sonak Rishi, we didn't get a background of his work. A little bit, if you can enlighten about that.
Sonak Rishi, what background you are asking about?
Don't know them.
Oh, don't know. So we will discuss about the sages. Okay, we will discuss about Sonak Rishi and who is he and everything. We'll discuss about it. Okay, I understood the question. Anything else on the context of today's class?
And many things that I will discuss in one.
Okay, you had many things. Okay, ठीक है. Yes, Sumit Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Yes.
प्रभु मेरा प्रश्न ये है कि अभी जो आज हम लोग कंफ्यूजन के बारे में बात किए तो अर्जुन का जो कंफ्यूजन था, कैन वी अंडरस्टैंड प्रभु जी कि उनका जो कंफ्यूजन था बिकॉज ही हैड सम प्री कंसीव्ड आइडियाज एंड ही वाज थिंकिंग दैट ही इज करेक्ट ऑन हिज पार्ट एंड अकॉर्डिंगली ही वाज क्वेश्चनिंग द लॉ. That is why he got confused. But if we see the sages, sages had a surrendering attitude, and they were not having preconceived idea. They have just questioned the spiritual master that what is the correct way, and in that way their confusion was. So, am I correct in my understanding, Prabhu?
Yeah, you are true in your understanding, but definitely the sages were surrendered. But the sages could have asked Suta Goswami and asked some other people before starting such an activity. Sometimes we start an activity and then we come to realize, oh, I think I should have consulted before starting the activity. So that was also a mistake of the sages, that they didn't consult some superiors. See, the Vyasadeva issue, what Vyasadeva had gone through, that was already had happened in the past. So sages, if they wanted, they could have also got information about that this had happened, that Vyasadeva was confused and everything. So Suta Goswami came and revealed to the sages. So definitely, what you said is correct, that sages were ready to surrender. Even Arjuna was ready to surrender. But what I am telling here is most important, that the sages had the disposition, even Arjuna also had the disposition to surrender. It's not that Arjuna didn't surrender, right? Sages also surrendered, Arjuna also surrendered. But what I am telling is that even at the level of sages, you can still get confused. Sometimes we think after practicing 3, 4, 5, 6 years, now everything, I don't require any help now. Now here is Vyasadeva, here is the sages, he is also confused. That's the point. Did you get the point? The point is that Arjuna is getting confused, and it's not that the sages will not get confused. So sometimes we think, okay, I have started practicing the process, now there is no confusion to be discussed. Now I do not have any shortcomings. Or sometimes we just accept, okay, ये मेरा shortcoming है, मैं और आगे बढ़ना ही नहीं चाहता हूँ. अभी जो आगे बढ़ना ही नहीं चाहता है, उसको क्या कर सकते हैं? If someone doesn't want to go ahead only in spiritual life, then nothing can be done. So we get stuck, that's what. And who doesn't want to get ahead? He doesn't want to reveal his heart. If it doesn't want to reveal his heart, he will get stuck. So imagine the sages, they don't want to reveal their heart to Suta Goswami. Then Suta Goswami आए, फिर चले भी जाते, and sages फिर continue करते and परेशान रहते. So the point is, even after practicing 10 years, it is required for us that we may get confused, we may get stuck, we may be doing something which will not help, And sometimes we are understanding that मेरा भक्ति मेरे पे काम नहीं कर रहा है. How many of you think that sometimes we understand कि भक्ति काम नहीं कर रहा है? But we do not have the courage to reveal it. We do not have the courage to reveal it. भक्ति काम नहीं कर रहा है, मेरे को आनंद नहीं मिल रहा है भक्ति में, मैं सबको दिखा रहा हूँ तिलक लगा के, हाँ मैं भी अच्छा भक्त हूँ. And we do not have the courage to reveal. That's what we are being speaking here, that the sages were following the right purpose and everything, but still they are confused and they had the courage to reveal. It takes a lot to reveal that काम नहीं कर रहा है, मैं सब कुछ कर रहा हूँ फिर भी काम नहीं कर रहा है, क्या हो रहा है मेरे साथ. Okay, yes, Asit Prabhu, then Arijit Prabhu, sorry, Madhur Kohli Prabhu, he had raised hand before. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thanks for the class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, whenever this knowledge is given, there are two things very important, like time, place, and what is said. So in context of Bhagavad Gita, we can say it was shared just before the start of Kali Yuga. But today what you said about the importance about Nimishan. So can you say, Prabhuji, Ayodhya and Vrindavan are not far away from this place. So therefore these leelas were, this is my understanding correct, happened in this place, near to Nimisharan or very close to that. Why not in South India or any other place?
Oh, no, this is not right appropriate logic. Krishna can give knowledge in any place, whether it is in South India or near Vrindavan. Vrindavan is not we already discussed in spiritual world, Vrindavan is not based on the proximity, like, okay, so we are 10 kilometers away from Vrindavan, we are affected more, and we are 50 kilometers away, will not be affected by Vrindavan. Vrindavan is not based on physical proximity. So it's not because Naimisharanya is nearby. Naimisharanya, it is said that the center of the universe goes through Naimisharanya. There is a hub. So that's a hub, like from the pole star. So from the pole star, there is a pivot that goes through Naimisharanya and enters and goes to the lower planets. Okay? Okay, Hari Bol. Yes, Asit Prabhu, then Arijit Prabhu, then Ajay.
You told Naimisharanya is the center place of entire the universe. So that time when 88,000 sages were praying or doing yajna, at that time Naimisharanya was the center point of the universe. Now Prabhuji, it is also center point of the universe.
Yes, it is also now the center point of universe, because universe has not changed and Dhruva Loka has not changed, the center point has not changed. But now New York has become center point of universe, right? Because we have all become like animals, right? Sages, and at that time people were human beings. That's why center point was Naimisharanya. Now also center point is Naimisharanya. But for animal like people, like all of us, New York has become center point. Or maybe Las Vegas has become center point. Okay.
Question to Prabhuji. You told coming means let's say wrong thought process is coming. Wrong thought process is coming. I have to exercise to stop that.
You cannot exercise and you get it out. If the sages are thinking shortcomings are happening, I will exercise something and go. That's the point. Point is, if you start exercising, you will not land up into a solution.
No, Prabhuji, my intention of asking question is, Prabhuji, now everything is coming. There is some new innovation is coming. Prabhuji, lifetime you will not do these right things. Suppose vaccine is coming, lifetime you will not cancer. But Prabhuji, my intention is, you are the topper of IIT and all the things. But you can invent such a things or such a thought, because a lifetime, today I will take this, or today I will obey your words, something lifetime I will not follow this situation. Anything is there, Prabhuji?
Yeah, it's there. You come for satsang class, start taking notes and start following my instruction. Lifetime you have to come for satsang class. That's what we have invented. Satsang. So you want to sleep nicely in the morning, in the Brahma Muhurta, and you want to think advance in spiritual life. That is not possible.
I am not thinking Brahma Muhurta. Prabhuji saying that you formed satsang class and it will be erratic. But Prabhuji, for that internally I have to exercise 24/7. Otherwise I will be not success.
So what is happening internally? What you are exercising internally, you have to first reveal. That's what we can tell. So the sages are feeling internally something, and the sages are revealing. They have the courage to reveal. So how do I know what is happening internally? So if you don't reveal what is happening internally, then how will you get the solution? It is happening internally, and you struggle internally. You get stuck in the material world internally.
No, Prabhuji. What you are saying, suppose you are giving us instruction, you follow this instruction, you obey this. I am following this instruction, but my point is, it is not a one time I will follow this, it will help me in entire life. But I have to following this instruction every day, every evening, every night, then I will get my success. Otherwise, not possible.
Yes.
Is this any? There is today I will follow this and entire life it will.
Yeah, but it is not like that you follow today and the entire life will happen, because if you have to follow it throughout, and for following it nicely, happily, you need also guidance. Imagine you are not able to follow certain things, you are not able to understand certain things, you need guidance, you need personal guidance. Okay, I am not able to follow this, there is some problem. You said that morning I should chant nicely, attentively, but I am not able to chant attentively. There is some problem. And what you are thinking during morning chanting, only you only know, na? And Paramatma knows. How do I know? And Paramatma is not going to come and help you. So Paramatma sends Guru. But if you don't tell anything to Guru, what Guru will do? He will just tell, okay, chant Hare Krishna, do whatever you want to do. That's what I am telling.
Yes, bro. Yes.
Yes, good. Yes, Ajay Jana Prabhu, and then Arijit Prabhu, then Santi Mataji.
Prabhuji, today's context that Noemi Sarana, Savanam Rishi, and that you explained, but there is another context of Bhagavatam that Parikshit Maharaj and Sudha Goswami, that will be different context, or are we going to relate them?
You have to wait. Okay, anything on today's context you have question? Don't ask about future context. We will discuss all context.
No, that's it.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Yes, Arijit Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम। प्रभु मेरा दो क्वेश्चन था। एक है जो आप बोल रहे थे कि व्यासदेव रिटन 132 कंपाइलेशन, आफ्टर दैट ओनली ही रियलाइज्ड कि देयर इज समथिंग गड़बड़। तो प्रभु मतलब ये जस्ट आउट ऑफ क्यूरियोसिटी में पूछ रहा हूं, व्हाई इट टुक टिल 132 कंपाइलेशन? उसका पहले अगर होता तो मे बी उसका पहले उसका सॉल्यूशन मिल जाता, या उसका टाइम बच जाता, या एफर्ट बच जाता।
Yeah, because those 132 compilations are also required for foolish people. So Vyasdev was compiling for foolish people, those who don't want to read Srimad Bhagavatam, because Krishna knew that there will be some foolish people who will require those compilations of Vyasdev in Kali Yuga, and they will get cheated. So it is also important, because people want to get cheated, there has to be literatures to help them get cheated. And Krishna is the fulfiller of all desires, facilitator of all desires. And if he has to facilitate the desire of the living entity to get cheated, he has to create avenues for getting cheated. Forget about Vyasdev, Krishna sends Sankaracharya, Lord Shiva as Sankaracharya. And Sankaracharya writes Mayavad philosophy, Saririka Bhasya, to cheat people. Lord Shiva himself in Padma Puran says to Parvati that I will come as a Brahmana in Kali Yuga to cheat people. This direct verse of Shiva to Parvati, that I will come to cheat people. Mayavadam asat sastram. I will come and speak Mayavad. Kalau Brahmana Murtina. I will come as a Brahmana in Kali Yuga to cheat people. Why? Why Lord arranges all these things to get people cheated? Because people want to get cheated. People want to think that I am practicing spiritual life, but internally they want to do material life. So they need some avenue, na? They need some literature, na? Right? So बाहर सबको दिखा रहे हैं मैं बहुत बड़ा भक्त हूँ, अंदर क्या है? I am doing my material things still. So you need a literature, you need a rationalization, you need a philosophy. So that philosophy is also there. So Krishna is facilitator, fulfiller of all desires, and Krishna allowed. Actually, Vyasadeva is Satyavesh avatar of Krishna. He is avatar of Lord. The Lord has come, all these 132 compilations, to finally get cheated. And anyone who really prays to the Lord, that, oh Lord, please help me, I don't want to get cheated, he will never get cheated. So if you want to get cheated, you will get cheated. If you don't want to get cheated, you will not get cheated. Provided whatever you pray, whatever you desire, Krishna is actually fulfilling your desires. Sometime, somewhere in your eternal life, somewhere you would have prayed that, oh Krishna, I don't want to get cheated and I don't want to cheat anyone. Because you don't want to get cheated, but you want to cheat. So both has to be there. So somewhere in some spectrum of your eternal life, you would have prayed. So Krishna has arranged for you to come in touch with Srimad Bhagavatam. Read Srimad Bhagavatam. And now it's an opportunity that Krishna is giving you. Now again you want to cheat. Read Srimad Bhagavatam mindlessly. Attend the satsang class mindlessly. Chant Hare Krishna mindlessly. Not follow the Guru's advice. Again you will get cheated. And then what will happen? Again, Krishna may arrange some situations or Krishna may not arrange situation. Right? So the point is, if we want to get cheated, we will get cheated. In ISKCON, there are so many different types of devotees. Some devotees cheat others. Some devotees get cheated also. Why? They want to get cheated. So it's not necessary that after coming in touch with Srimad Bhagavatam, you will not cheat yourself. Then also you can cheat yourself. Still you can be lazy in Krishna consciousness. Still you will not follow the instructions seriously. Still you will not chant attentively. That is also possible. Okay. So all types of possibilities there, right? But if we really want to advance, if we pray that Krishna, I want to advance, this life I want to go back to Godhead, Krishna will give us solutions to take us back to Godhead. Yes. Yes, Santi Mataji.
Namaste, Prabhuji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Like today's class, I clearly understand I am still in Sukirtano stage, asking for everything in material world to Krishna very clearly. I have not even crossed that, still in all the samsaric duties. So now I have a question that in materialistic world also, right purpose, right place, right people, right character, everything when we apply and pray to Krishna, still we are struck.
So that's yeah, it's true that we'll get stuck. And we need to understand that what Bhagavad Gita says about Sukritino stage, it's also a very elevated stage. At least if someone is a Sukritino and accepting that Krishna is supreme, Vishnu is supreme, and so that itself is an elevated stage. And later on, that is the first thing Suta Goswami. So this is, we have not started the teachings of Srimad Bhagavatam. As the teachings start, the first thing that Suta Goswami says to the Saunakadi Rishi is about Bhakti and Sudha Bhakti. So what you are talking about is Bhakti. It's not that not Bhakti. Now asking material things to Krishna is also Bhakti. But it is Mishra Bhakti. It's not Suddha Bhakti. And so it is clear that you are in Sukritino stage, and Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to help us elevate from the Sukritino stage where we are doing Bhakti or Mishra Bhakti, we want something from Krishna, to Suddha Bhakti. Right? Srimad Bhagavatam is meant for that. So you are the perfect candidate for Srimad Bhagavatam. You just have to wait and understand Srimad Bhagavatam, and slowly after reading Srimad Bhagavatam, you will see that your heart will be cleaned, and you will also start performing Bhakti with purity. Okay? It is just like oh, I think the washroom that is created, I think is for making me clean. But you see, I am so dirty. If I enter the bathroom, what will happen? If I enter the washroom, what will happen? No, the washroom is meant for dirty people. It is expected that whoever enters the washroom is dirty. If the person thinks I am dirty, I will not enter the washroom, then how he will get cleaned? So it is expected that those who start reading Srimad Bhagavatam, they are in Sukritino stage. And that's what the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam tells. Dharma projita kaitavatro parama nirmatsaranam satam. Srimad Bhagavatam drives away or kicks out that dharma or that bhakti which is Sukritino bhakti. Right? And Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to make us paramo nirmatsaranam. So from Sukritino, Srimad Bhagavatam will help us to become nirmatsar. Right? Nirmatsaranam satam. So it is natural that when we start reading Srimad Bhagavatam that we will be dirty in our consciousness. But Srimad Bhagavatam is so pure, more pure than than Ganga, right? Because Ganga, you have to walk and go to such a place and do so much of austerity to reach. Srimad Bhagavatam, just open and start reading, right? So easy. Right? That's what in the first canto, first chapter, the sages are telling, Sutta Goswami is telling, you see, Srimad Bhagavatam is so easy. So it is meant to purify. You just have to take the process. Okay? Yes. Last question, Ravi Prabhu.
Dhanwad Prabhuji?
Yes.
This stages of, the devotees which you had told us, in the first stage, there is a steep progress initially, and then, it slows down. Which is the third one? You said Nishita and then Stand. If you just explain that.
Yeah, so I didn't explain about it. This is about coming to the stage of Nishtha. So we have something called Madhurya Kadambini. Okay, you can hear those recordings. Okay. Maybe tell Tarun Prabhu, he will help you understand all these stages of bhakti. Okay. This stage of bhakti is called Anartha Nivritti. Okay. So you can hear the recordings of Madhurya Kadambini. It's a very nice recording, and it's a playlist that is available. If you hear that, it will be helpful for anyone who has not heard Madhurya Kadambini. Please hear Madhurya Kadambini from the recordings. In your free time, you can hear one lecture. It will help you understand our the way we progress in Krishna consciousness. Okay, it is about that. Okay, and when you hear that recording, those recordings, and if you still have some confusions, you can always ask me. Okay. Yes. There are so many other questions. Yes, Santanu Prabhu.
Am I audible?
Yes, fully.
Prabhuji, I think last to last question, what you were mentioning, that what we desire internally and what we want internally, that is what we will seek in this world. And that is what the facility Krishna has made. All the facilities for what we may desire and what we want to seek, Krishna has facilitated in different ways. The sinful ways, the scriptural ways of enjoyment, the sinful ways of enjoyment. Now Prabhuji, now we have come to Krishna consciousness and we have started to understand what desires we should make. But these things are still theoretical for us, like praying to Krishna for service. It is not what we internally desire, it is what we have heard and understood. So that we can do sometimes of the day, we can pray that Krishna give me service. But that is not an internal desire. But what goes on maximum time internally. But then again Krishna will fulfill the internal desires, what we are always thinking.
No, that's why a confession is required. That's why a confession is required. What we are speaking about is revealing our heart, what we will discuss in the next class. A confession is required. Imagine we have internal desires which are not pure, and if you confess to a sadhu, and the sadhu prays for us, then Krishna will not fulfill your internal desires, even if it is impure. So that's why we are telling that we are so much thinking that, so much dependent on, I will pray for myself, and what is the probability that if someone is suffering from anarthas, he will pray for his spiritual welfare? It's a very less probability, and even if that happens, it will not be a very strong prayer. So what is being told is that if we ask sadhus, and if we reveal our heart and say that this is what I am, honestly, and please pray for me, I seek your guidance, and without you I have no hope. So that is what is being spoken here. Sutta Goswami is being approached by Sonakadi Rishi, if you read the verses of the first chapter, they are approaching with so much of humility. They are approaching with a lot of humility. So we are so much dependent on the strength of our prayers, but that's not going to help. We have to be dependent on the prayers of the sadhus, prayers of the guru, right? And why they will pray? They may pray some generic thing, iska kalyan ho jaye. But if we reveal our heart, they will pray specific. So Krishna will not interfere with in our desires, but if we allow sadhus to interfere, then Krishna will also not reject or prohibit the sadhu. नहीं, क्यों तुम उसके जीवन में interfere कर रहा है, right? So Krishna will help the sadhus to interfere in the life of a person, and that's why yesterday I had gone to Madhur Kohli's place, and that place for giving class. I was telling that's why Guru and sadhus are more merciful than Krishna. You see, all of you don't come for the morning session. Is Paramatma going to chastise you, catch your ear, scold you? Nothing is going to happen. But Guru is more merciful. He catches our ears and catches our neck and puts, भगवान को तुमको दंडवत करना ही है, मैं तुमको लेके ही जाऊंगा तुम्हारा चोटी पकड़ के, right? Paramatma will not do like that. Paramatma is samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshta asti na priyaha. I am equal to everyone. I envy no one. I love no one. I am equal to everyone. So that's why by the empowerment of Krishna, the Guru is very merciful. And here, Suta Goswami is acting as Guru for Saunakadi Rishis, and we see what is the disposition of the Saunakadi Rishis. How they are, though they are so advanced, they are still having the courage to reveal their shortcomings and ready to take guidance and help to go ahead in life. That's the subject matter. So if we ask Guru to pray for us, sadhus to pray for us, but then they will only pray based on how we reveal. We tell something, we hide something else, then who will, so who will pray for us, right? And you pray and you see whatever you can do. But when Gurus pray for us, sadhus pray for us, Vaishnavas pray for us, that is a big power. It's a lot of power, right? When Vaishnavas pray for us. So we must understand that our prayers are maybe infinitesimal power, but Vaishnava's prayers, Gurudev's prayers, like infinite, right? Vaishnavera vedane Krishna dayamoy ehena pamara prati havena sadai. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in this beautiful song, Kabe Sri Chaitanya more karivena daya Kabe mupaiba Vaishnava pada chaya. We will sing this song maybe next week. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will be happy with me, and then he will place me under the Vaishnavas, right? And when the Vaishnavas will pray, Vaishnavera abedan, abedan matlab prayers, Krishna dayamoy, Krishna becomes very merciful. Ehena pamara pati havena sadai. Vaishnavas, when they pray for us, then Krishna will be very merciful. Okay, is this clear? Yes. Okay. Yeah. What is the question, Sweta Mataji? Last.
It's not a question.
Okay.
Just a query. प्रभु नैमिषारण्य में आपने बताया कि वहाँ पे अगर कुछ करते हैं तो पूरे यूनिवर्स में चला जाता है, right?
Yes.
तो वहाँ पे हमारा इस्कॉन है प्रभु, हम वहाँ संकीर्तन करते हैं.
तो उधर इस्कॉन है, संकीर्तन होता है, और संकीर्तन ऐसा चीज है जो सूत गोस्वामी बताते हैं कि देश काल विभागवित. So those who are knowing about Desa Kala Vibhaga, those who know, they understand that Tasmat Sarvesu Kalesu, that at any time हरि का कहीं पे भी गुणगान होता है, चैंटिंग होता है, वो जगह नैमिषारण्य बन जाता है. And actually if Hari comes, then the center of universe will come, na? We chant Hare Krishna nicely, then Hari only comes. So the center of universe will come to us. So that's why we don't have to do Harinam Sankirtan in Naimisharanya. If you do in Calcutta, then Calcutta will become Naimisharanya. So wherever we do Harinam, that will become Naimisharanya. This is easier way which Saunaka, Suta Goswami says to Saunaka. अरे इतने सारे लोगों को लॉजिस्टिक प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, रहने का सब जगह नहीं मिल रहा है, 88,000, send them to different parts and make them, ask them to make Naimisharanya in different parts of the world, right? So all these 88,000 people, they were distributed. After Srimad Bhagavatam class they heard, they were all distributed in different parts of the universe, just like Srila Prabhupada distributed his disciples in different countries. Srila Prabhupada would have a globe, right? Whenever any disciple would come, he will see in the globe which place can be sent. He said, I think this place there is no one. You go there and start a center. And then if you have some problems, you come to me, then we will discuss. So, and in that center, it will become Naimisharanya. Okay. So Srila Prabhupada asked us to make centers, and we make center, it will become center of the universe. Yes, it's center. Name is center only. It's called center. Whether it is Calcutta center or Mumbai center, it is center of universe. It is center. Name is center. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। वांछा कल्पतरुश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्ण। हरि ओम।